Kia ora, I'm Erin J. Doyle. Welcome to my channel in a somewhat spontaneous book unhaul. I knew it was coming. I even knew what books were going to be on it. But I wasn't committed yet, and I am committing today on zero notice. I've just, I don't know, been overcome by the unhauling spirits or something. So it's happening. The books that I'm getting rid of are the books that live on the shelf right next to my desk. This shelf is in direct sunlight, so it's where I've always put the books which I wasn't totally in love with. These books didn't need to be protected because they had wronged me in some way. They were predictable, or the author was problematic, or the dog died, etc. They all went on that one shelf because I didn't really intend to keep them forever. I didn't see myself ever rereading them or recommending them to anyone, but I wasn't in a place to give them up. I'm in that place today. So, unhaul time. First up, we have Faux. Insanely predictable, pretty boring, and for some reason that is in no way relevant to the plot in any way, shape or form. Genetic engineering equals bad. That hit my foot. Next up we have Lady Chatterley's Lover. For a book which is known for being frequently banned and challenged, is supposed to be, maybe I'll get the book off my foot. This is supposed to be, you know, kind of sexy and oh no, we have to not share it with the youngins because it's so immoral. There's not even any fucking sex in it. So disappointing. I thought, given its reputation, that there would be something in it. No, I mean, she takes a lover, but you don't get to see anything, so what's the point? Next up is The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules. I have got a few problems with this. I think if you are someone who, when playing The Sims, has every single person look very beautiful and live in a very beautiful house, and everyone meets someone and dates them and then gets engaged and then they get married and they have a beautiful ceremony and then they have children, this might be the book for you. If you want everybody, including bad people, to get a happy ending, then this book is for you. But I can't imagine any other scenario in which someone would actually enjoy this. I guess it's like literary Prozac, like everything is great all the time, like even the people who are having affairs and knowingly abusing the elderly get a happy ending. I don't understand it. Next, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. I don't know, not my jam, I guess. I know that there was something in here that really pissed me off, but I can't remember what it is now. I didn't appreciate how conveniently everything came together. My hair's getting too fuzzy, we have to... Okay. Next I'm getting rid of, some of you may have to brace yourselves here, Alice in Wonderland. If this book means a lot to you, if you really love it, maybe just skip ahead a minute because you aren't going to like what I have to say. I hate Alice. And it might just be that I'm like grumpy in my soul and want children to be quiet and to behave and do as they are told, but I hate her. Little know-it-all shit. Shut up. Why would I want to read about her? Okay, I don't think this one is going to be as controversial. White Fang, yes, no thank you to the racism. Also boring. Getting rid of The Little Prince. I can appreciate what this is, but now that I have read it, I'm done with it, and I feel like it would do better being re-released out into the world for another reader than remaining on my shelf. Next, I'm getting rid of The Warming. This is a climate change novel. I disagree with the scientific elements in it, not in terms of climate change being real. It's 100% real. My kind of lack of convincedness is more to do with how people are responding to the increasing temperatures and the species which colonize Antarctica and things like that. So it's kind of the descriptions of the setting that I have issues with from a scientific perspective. In terms of the story itself though, it's just very dull. There are lots of things which are brought up which could have become exciting. They could have been very dramatic and none of them were. It's a very even read in terms of your emotional response, and as a result I didn't find it particularly exciting. I also found the relationship of the main character and his wife weird in that they originally meet when she is a married woman and he is a boy working at the local shop, and his job is to deliver groceries to her house. And you know, he's sort of young enough I should say, that you know, he's spying on them and being a bit of a creep. They break up and then he gets together with the wife, so there's kind of this weird creepy element there, but we never really get to see how they come to be together. It's just kind of stated that they meet and yep, and you're like so yeah, inoffensive but not exciting, I guess, is my review. That took too many words. Let's move on to Orphan number 8. Whew. If you're going to give me lesbian sex scenes, give me lesbian sex scenes. Don't give me fucking gardening. The first time it happened, I didn't realise that it was a sex scene. I got confused as to why I was reading a description of flowers. Just don't do that. Don't. It's awful. It's also a story where everything that happens to the main character, like every time there's a challenge for her to overcome, it's resolved in the most convenient way possible. Like, she's got no money and she's trying to travel somewhere, and right at that exact moment an extraordinarily wealthy family show up and their children are running wild, and she is moderately helpful to the mother who like literally instantly hires her to come with them and be the nanny, and she's immediately taken care of financially and all good. And you're like, come on. Next, I'm getting rid of A Dog's Purpose. The dog dies. Repeatedly. The fact that he is reincarnated doesn't change the fact that he dies over again, over and over, and I didn't appreciate it. Next up, I am getting rid of the 4 books that I own by the author who shall not be named. Even if the author was not problematic, I would be unhauling these, because I didn't read the series until I was in my 20s, I think. It was definitely when the movies were coming out that I started reading these. So I don't have a nostalgic connection to them. So, having read them as an adult and not being overflowing with nostalgia, I am very aware that these are not actually that well written. Like, the first book should have been about Hermione. It should have been like Hermione and the Boy Who Lived. That's what it should have been called. I hate the romantic relationships that show up in the later books as the kids get older. Like, the vast majority of them, I don't understand why they got together. They feel like relationships of convenience. I don't like how at the very, very end of the series we get to see what happened to everybody except Luna. Like, I don't like these books. I never have. I particularly hate the use of the word snog. No, and I want them gone. Also, I figure if someone like me, who does not enjoy them at any level, I mean, I like the concept, but that's about it. If I give these away, then maybe someone else who desperately wants to read them but doesn't want to buy them and put money into a certain person's pocket can get them. Next up we have The Snow Child. I don't even know what to say about this book. Like, I guess stuff happens. It has a vaguely drawn out fairy tale feel to it, so you know what's coming. I didn't appreciate the development of the romantic relationship between the Snow Child and a certain person. Try not to completely spoil everything. Again, this might be a book that some people really like. It's just not my cup of tea. I found it predictable and just very emotionally even through the whole thing, so I never became invested. Next, I'm getting rid of The Other Side of the Story, which I did enjoy reading. I have no specific complaints about. I just don't see myself rereading it. Oliver Twist, perfectly respectable, not going to reread it. Great Gatsby, I don't understand why it's popular. Maybe if I had, like, I don't know, read it in an academic setting, so had received some kind of scaffolding to allow me to think certain things about it, that my experience of reading it might be different, but I just don't generally get the appeal of it. The God of Small Things, I did not enjoy this book. I can understand why many did. I personally didn't like it. There's one memory I have of this book which I think is kind of funny and I have quoted periodically, but generally it's just not my cup of tea. And the final book I'm getting rid of is Magpie Hall. This is by a New Zealand author, and I always really struggle to unhaul New Zealand books because I feel like I have this patriotic duty to love and promote them. But aside from that struggle, I've decided to get rid of it anyway, because it's actually, I remember it being an enjoyable read, but I really hated the ending. So I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, I wouldn't reread it, so obviously it's time to go. If you're wanting to know what was bad about the ending, obviously massive spoilers of doom. This story is about a contemporary woman going to her family home that's from very much New Zealand's colonial period, and she's thinking about her either grandfather or great-grandfather. It's been a couple of years since I read this. And we get to see the life of that ancestor and how he meets his wife and how his wife becomes a tattooed lady. And it's really interesting. The relationship between the grandparents is far more interesting than anything that the contemporary character is going through, and then right towards the end we find out that everything we have seen from that grandparent relationship was a work of fiction written by the main character. You're like, it might as well have been a dream sequence. Like, ugh. So those are the books I'm getting rid of. I don't know when I'll actually be able to get these out of the house, what with lockdowns and lack of a car and things, but they're going to go in a box, and I will now have 2.5 whole shelves on my bookcase to put other things in, which is exciting. Perhaps there shall be a haul. I'll keep you posted. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!